Be the first one who admits I was wrong. I was wrong. Maybe transgenders don't make up the majority of mass shooters, but it's too disturbing. Right after we had in Canada an 18-year-old transgender, and it's always male to female because men do make up. So the father gunned down his wife and 3 kids in the stands at a high school. And we don't have a problem with pronouns here. They call him a father. 2 people were killed, including a little girl. Others were in critical condition. A family dispute. A trans dad has been identified as the suspected gunman. Robert Dorgan, yes, we have the name. 56, not a lost boy, targeting members of his own family. Just like in Canada, in a chilling warning online about going berserk. It's about time we admit we don't normalize transgenders. We don't target them. Never target a transgender person, but definitely don't normalize it. Women's clothing. 4 family members were shot, including a young girl, as well as a family friend. The shooter turned the gun on himself, just like in Canada. He was hoping to be recognized as a woman. What do you think? Would you recognize him as a woman? Robert Dorgan. Not calling him a person, a gun person. Dorgan, who was found dead, the only suspect, identified as a female. But unfortunately, the hormones weren't doing the job, and he behaved like the 97% of shooters are men. The suspect, we identified him. He goes by the name of Roberta. God help us. A father, I'm not being transphobic, I'm just saying, why does this happen again? He actually underwent gender reassignment surgery in 2020, 6 years ago, according to court filings.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out.
Just one night before the massacre, he chillingly replied to an anti-trans post on social media saying, "Keep bashing us, but do not wonder why we go berserk." That's no excuse. That's not an excuse. If somebody says unpleasant words to me, I don't go and take out my anger on people and kill them, take their lives. This person obviously had mental problems and thought, well, I'll just undergo surgery and everything will be hunky-dory. Police are continuing to investigate the mass shooting, but believe the motive was likely domestic dispute between him and his ex-wife. Well, he did kill other people, though. Around the same time as Dorgan's surgery, his partner filed for divorce on the grounds of gender reassignment surgery, narcissistic personality disorder traits. Well. When are we going to stop normalizing these people? When? Yes, they exist, but come on. You can't use an operation to hide mental illness. Ugh. The suspected killer accused his-in-law of using a slur for transgender people. Uh-oh. You can't use words. You never heard the phrase, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me." He was so offended. This was the game where he just decided he was just going to take a gun and shoot people. 3 victims remain in critical condition in hospital. Not to mention all the people that were severely traumatized from the event. Was believed to be armed with multiple guns. Oh my gosh. Oh, an heroic bystander, let's focus on the good, managed to rip a firearm out of his hands after the first few shots. He allegedly pulled out his second deadly weapon, continued his assault. Rhode Island. You wouldn't think, Rhode Island. It's not New York. Since it was identified, X account said to belong to Dorgan had been unearthed with thousands of unhinged posts. But give him a gun. Many included anti-trans hate messages. So to those who accuse people of being anti-trans, he himself was anti-trans, anti-Semitic, pro-Nazi, racist rants, but he had a gun. The shooting first erupted, police arriving 2 minutes. We stand together, support. So I'm really sad that I was actually saying, oh no, they don't make up, because it does seem to be statistics, and they only make up 0.5% of mass shooters. But if you're involved in a mass shooting, it's like 100%. No mass shooters should be allowed. And we have to start talking about the fact that people that are mental issues should not be allowed guns. But the other issue I feel is important is, why don't these people who run sports events, schools, have metal detectors, have security? How much does it cost to hire a security officer to check the bags of every person coming in, to check people? I don't really get that. And I really do not want to target transgenders, but we have to realize it is a mental disorder, and normalizing it is not going to help. It doesn't help them when we normalize it. He actually underwent an operation, probably was taking estrogen, but he's still a man with a man's rage, because only 2% of women are involved in mass shooters, but 97% of them are men. And though in the statistics they say 0.5% are transgenders, I'm now thinking, I don't know what else they do, but I'm not saying to hate them. I'm not saying to target them. I think there are people that are suffering from mental illness. And it's about time we don't allow people with mental illness to get a gun. I don't know how he got a gun. He underwent surgery 6 years ago, so when did he get the gun? Who sold him the gun? How did the gun get to his hand? It's less relevant than why don't any of these places, sports events, schools, have security at the door, whether it's transgender shooter or non-transgender. Security. The lack of security in America, Canada, or wherever these places occur. You know, even the Bondi Beach anti-Semitic shooting, if there had been security, but I mean that the place was surrounded and they had security and nobody with a gun could go near, and there would be no possibility of people on the rooftop or anywhere shooting. If security was taken more seriously, we'd have less mass shootings and we wouldn't have to do this. I really don't want to focus on this despicable person. I'm just saying it's about time. I don't know what to show. I mean, how in the world did he ever think that he was a woman? How? Does this look like a woman to you? It looks like an angry man that became an angry transgender. And if you look at it, it's like 100% of the time, it's men to female transgenders. It's never women who transition to men. Never heard of one case either. It's always men transitioning. When we say, I don't want to target this community because they're very vulnerable people, but I'm saying we really should be aware of mentally unhinged people having access to weapons. You have to remember that a man, even though he underwent surgery and removed his genitalia, obviously, he's still obviously in the 97% of male shooters, and the testosterone is already there, and also the anger and the mental issues don't go away by surgery. You don't solve your mental issues by surgery.